טוב, בואו נדבר קצת על ההיסטוריה של דרגון, אם לא ידעתם. אז עכשיו אני אראה לכם פה פרק שמי נהפך ראשון לסופר סאיה. לפי ההגדרות. לפי ההגדרה, ברדוק הוא הראשון שנהפך לסופר סאיה, לפני שפריזה הרג אותו. ועכשיו בואו נראה לכם דוגמה פה. מפה על המסך.
After being defeated by Frieza. But what if the opposite happened? What if the Death Ball reached planet Vegeta and Bardock was propelled towards the future and found by a mysterious entity with faulty memories? Bardock must now venture into this universe that has left him behind. When it comes to Bardock, I'm using both the Z anime special and the DBS version of Bardock. So he has been part of a squad, and he's not exactly the nicest in the universe. He's been cursed with having future sight, but he's also married to Gine, and with her help, sent Kakarot away. You'll see what I mean once the story starts.
We settle it! What the?
Bardock's eyes reflected the gigantic death ball, incinerating away everything that stood in its path. His thoughts raced back to his squad, Gine, Raditz, Kakarot, boom! Frieza standing before his second-born, a flash of gold before he sees himself standing before the Emperor. His heart sank. Was that a vision or a last wish? Almost instinctively, Bardock opened his barrier around himself, as if his body was screaming out for one more chance. One more shot at fighting Frieza. His body began to tear itself apart under the immense pressure, his armor tearing away, but his body not giving in. The death ball began to turn around on itself, parting it with his energy. His aura sparkled into a golden one, his hair spiking on end. The Saiyans below all watched in awe, and a gasp leaving their breaths with depth not even afforded to the world-destroying death ball itself. Some recognized it from their dreams, others from legends, from desires. This was the Super Saiyan. This was their savior. Frieza cocked an eyebrow. That power was meaningless. It was surprising, sure, stronger than anyone in his army. He would certainly be troublesome to any of them. But then again, Frieza wasn't just any of them. Everyone's scouter was going insane as Frieza lifted his other hand up and fired a blast into the death ball. Bardock continued to try and push back the death ball, but as the blast inched his way closer to it, he was finally consumed. Frieza couldn't help but laugh. Some terrified soldiers gasped, as from the scouters, the power level of the Super Saiyan disappeared completely. Bardock's Super Saiyan barrier scorching off what little remained of the Saiyan suddenly stopped. The pain lessened, and Bardock lost consciousness. It was getting cold, as the images of his family faded into obscurity. He had been displaced in time and space, or maybe his body was just miraculously preserved within the barrier. Perhaps it was an act beyond time and space. But Bardock's body remained as a piece of space debris, a memory of what used to be planet Vegeta. And while his son enjoyed adventures and tournaments and Demon King battles, Bardock's destiny too changed, as two dark figures discovered him, just what they were looking for. A Saiyan to help revive Majin Buu. Before we begin, let me preface this by saying that this Bardock is an amalgamation of the two Bardocks we have. So, while he did send Kakarot away with Gine's help, he's also a ruthless fighter with future sight. He has his squad, although he himself is maybe a little nicer. Somewhere in between the two of them. Anyways, let's begin. Babidi and Dabura travel in a spaceship to planet Vegeta, only to find it destroyed. They knew Saiyans were strong warriors with often darkened hearts, wanting to recruit them into their cause. Unaware of the planet's destruction, disappointed, they get ready to leave before Dabura points something out. A Saiyan, nearly intact, blending in with the debris. To their surprise, he was still alive. Babidi brings in the warrior, nursing him back to health, although the Demon King has to punch through the barrier to actually reach him inside. Slowly, Bardock regains consciousness, but Babidi realizes there's something very strange about him. While in captivity, Babidi delves into Bardock's mind, trying to latch onto any memory or thought that could corrupt him into being his minion. But there was little Babidi could see, not even a name, as if the Saiyan had lost everything that made him who he really was. In the destruction of planet Vegeta, Bardock had lost all his memories. When Bardock wakes up fully in the presence of Babidi,